Hello, happy Thanksgiving Eve. I am coming to you live from my home in Redlands. We were supposed to be traveling up north to Northern California, but I got COVID. I started having symptoms last Friday, and this is the first day I'm kind of up walking out and about. So I'm here, and I was supposed to be doing a holiday workshop on holiday eating this week, and I was sick in bed, and so that got canceled. So I wanted to hop on here and just kind of discuss holiday eating, and you're gonna have to excuse some remnants of COVID. Holiday eating, what does that mean? How can you survive tomorrow and Friday and still have your health as a goal? Is that even possible? And yeah, it's totally possible. Anything's possible. I think even Disney said it's really fun to accomplish the impossible or something like that. I might have just butchered that quote. Tag somebody if you know they struggle with food, body, weight, or eating during the holidays, especially during the holidays when it's typical to eat different foods, maybe larger portions in a group setting with people maybe you don't see all the time. And so there is a lot of different factors that if you already have anxiety or fear around food, now all of a sudden we've just dumped a bunch of other factors that can complicate an already sensitive situation. So first thing is you're going to want to identify and sit with yourself and identify and say out loud or put a pen to a paper what you want to have. Do you want to have a holiday that your goals are still a priority? Do you want to have a holiday where, maybe you're just trying to establish some goals? You need to figure out where you're at. And that is so important because sometimes in our head, we have all of these ideas and thoughts and they're not formed. They're just ideas and thoughts, and it can feel like a hamster on a wheel. So when you take the time to identify what you actually want to have, that definitely helps. When I used to work for a bariatric surgeon, a lot of times I'd be working with these clients who are seeking out weight loss via surgery, and through the holidays was really hard because typically in a weight loss environment, there's not foods that are typical for a Thanksgiving meal, especially pre or post bariatric surgery. And so a lot of times it was like, what do you want to have? What do you want to have? Well, I want to have a very clear pre-surgical weight loss plan. I want to have a really clear post-surgical weight loss plan. So I was like, okay. So Thanksgiving definitely can be a little bit harder of something to navigate, where maybe you speak to someone who's at the table that they know that this is what you're going to be doing and they can support your goals. So what you want to have is you want to have a support person. That's way different than wanting to have a stress-free holiday. That probably isn't going to happen. A stress-free holiday is a really cute fantasy. Doesn't exist typically. And so when you're writing down what I want to have and you realize I just want a support person, all I need to do is call a friend. I need to call a friend. I need to call a family member. I need to have a conversation that this is where I'm at. I want a support person. So that really changes kind of the expectation of your holiday. If you don't have a support person, all right, let's take a step back and let's make a plan of, I want a plan of what I'm going to do, of what I'm going to eat. You can't really predict how you're going to feel. Okay. It's all done?
Yeah.
Okay, ask brother to restart it. Okay? So, sorry. We are trying to navigate. We're going to go out for a walk and be free in the open air in a little bit. So when I have two little boys and they do not have it yet. So I'm walking around with this N95. So I'm sitting here near an open window doing this live. Hi, John. So you want to figure out, what do I want my plan to be? And that's okay to write it down. It's okay you made it. It's okay to write down what you want your plan to be. Now, if the expectation is I want to feel no stress and I want my plan to be perfect, get ready to be let down. There is no such thing as perfect. It never happens that way. And so you can say, you know what? I want to have a plan in place so I can feel more secure. If you have a lot of anxiety around the foods that are going to be there, I'm nervous about what ingredients are going in the foods. Having a plan in place can reduce some of that fear, not cure it, just reduce it. Another goal that when someone was registering for the seminar, they had said, I don't want to graze all day. That's a great goal, meaning I'm assuming you're meaning I don't want to mindlessly eat, because then I feel like I'm out of control, or I feel like I'm regretting on Friday. I regret how I feel physically, emotionally. So one way to not graze and mindlessly eat, which it's okay to mindlessly eat. That's not a bad or good thing. But if your goal is to not mindlessly eat for whatever reason, sometimes mindlessly eating can be a coping mechanism for an emotion. It can be you're bored. That's an emotion. It can be you're just not aware. You're not paying attention. You're checked out. Numb can be a reaction to an emotion. It can be, well, I'm stressed. I'm around these people I don't like. Thanksgiving brings up a lot of horrible memories. Our last Thanksgiving was awful. Okay, so it brings up some grief. It brings up some trauma. Food is not going to actually help you cope. It does bring a pleasure response. Typically, it brings some dopamine, which makes us feel better, but it actually doesn't make you feel better. It's pleasure. It's not actual joy or relief. Can be relief, but just temporary. So to prevent mindlessly eating is to first start with a breakfast. Start with a breakfast with enough protein whenever you eat breakfast, whether it be after a fast or whenever. Try to have 2 to 3 servings of a protein. How you measure that can be either numerically or with your hands or with a plate. But you want to pay attention, does my breakfast have protein? Fruit Loops and almond milk does not have any protein. Almond milk actually doesn't have any protein. So have it with a soy milk or some type of milk that does have protein. Keep your Fruit Loops. What about if I do a fast in the AM, then splurge in the afternoon? Is it terrible to go from none? Yes. So nothing to all the food definitely can wreak havoc on your hormones, on kind of your mechanicoreceptors, like your stretch systems, not your stretch systems, how your stomach feels. It's called the mechanicoreceptors. Your stomach feels empty and then it stretches and you're just like, oh, it just feels so sick. I feel so full. That can trigger an emotional response. So I don't recommend fasting in the AM and then I'm going to say the word binge on Thanksgiving dinner. Not the best plan. Definitely have either, John, maybe like a protein shake if that kind of resonates with you, or 2 to 3 scrambled eggs with like a slice of toast, and then maybe snacking on some protein-based foods. That typically will keep physical hormones kind of leveled out, will keep insulin leveled out. Snacking on a bunch of sugary-based foods can kind of make hormones go up and down. Now, if this is triggering for you, even talking about the quality of the food, and that you're working on intuitive eating, do what feels good. What I literally didn't say is eat all the foods all of the time. And that's what people assume I mean by intuitive eating. Intuitive eating could also mean, no, I'm done. I've had my serving of chips and dip. I'm okay to push away. It's really just being one with your intuition and saying what feels good. Now that takes throwing out all the rule books. There can be no rules with intuition. It's really listening to the push and pull of what your body wants, which takes some time and can take some practice. Again, going back to mindlessly eating, it's checking in. And sometimes it's saying it out loud. If you were to say out loud, okay, I'm really bored and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to eat 4 bowls of chips and dip. sometimes when you say it out loud, you hear it back to yourself and you think, I actually don't want to do that. Not going to do it. Or say it to your support person. Hey, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have 4 servings of stuffing. Typically, if that is not your goal and you say it out loud, you have to say it out loud to someone that's not going to judge you. One of the most common things, you're going to get food comments, diet comments from people at the table. Oh, are you sure? Are you going to have a second helping? Oh, wow, look at you and look at your plate. Sometimes it's okay to either ignore those comments, just pretend you don't hear them. It's going to be the least confrontational. Or you can put up a boundary and say, yeah, I am going to be eating these things because I am looking forward to Thanksgiving. It's once a year. Thank you for your commentary. That can be a little bit more bold. Message me if you do have a very triggering environment that has a lot of diet culture, and we can kind of dialogue back and forth on how you can kind of navigate some of those things. In December, I'm going to be doing another workshop on holiday eating and just the woes and the struggles that a lot of people that are working on their health can face. My biggest wish is don't throw your health to the wayside and say, whatever, I'll get back on January 1st. That type of thinking is, if you're not going to be able to do it now, it is harder to do it later. It really, really is. Hi, Luke. You're all done. Okay, thank you. You're done your milk? You want cold milk? Yeah. Okay, so working on your health in this time period is hard, and it's possible. Mindlessly eating. All right, we'll turn it on. Triggering conversations, most likely to happen. Writing down what you want to have. Writing down what you want to feel. And then going from there, if it's a support person, if it's a plan, you can do both of those things. It's being aware that you want to do those things and going and doing them. Finding a support person in this time would probably be the most peaceful. It's going to feel the most supportive because you have someone to witness what you're going through. And that is one of my favorite parts of what I do, is I'm able to witness you and your story and your journey if you are struggling with food, body weight, and eating. And it's a safe place to be able to witness and then helping you take steps forward to whatever your goals are. Everybody's body is so different. Everybody's relationship with food is so different. Food doesn't make you fat. Food does not cause harm. Food is pleasure, it's joy, it's creative, it's fun, and I want to help you step into that. So happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Stay well. I was shocked that I got a positive COVID test, but definitely do what you can to stay healthy. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving Eve. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday, and enjoy your holiday if you do celebrate. Okay.